So why do these links? Why does the link strategy work well? Well, we know what it does is it brings in, it condenses the definition to its essential parts, right? It breaks it down. It focuses the student's attention on what is important. It causes elaboration via summarizing different strategies. It creates linking stories and pictures that provides them that multiple means, as we've talked about before. Provides them by doing that, a focus on the meaning of the term itself, as well as more elaboration overall. It builds on that background knowledge through using words that they already know, as well as taps into that visual and auditory modes of learning through drawing, as well as listening to the word. All right? So we have brought together in this one strategy, we've provided for multiple means of representation, and we're doing this in the classroom and very explicitly teaching vocabulary. Now, within links and with most of the things we're talking about here, you're really kind of focusing on those highly used vocabulary words, those critical vocabulary words that are needed within your content area. Now let's take a minute to talk about the word mapping strategy. The purpose of the word mapping strategy is to expand students' vocabulary by helping them predict meanings of unknown words. This is critical, unknown words, using key language elements, such as roots, prefixes, and suffixes, that they come across while they're reading. So again, this is to support unknown words. So in the modern age, students might even Google a word and look up a word in a digital dictionary. That's fine, but this helps them do this without taking that process. So let's talk about the word mapping strategy. It's broken down into some parts. Step 1, they map the word parts. Step 2, they attack the meaning of each part. Step 3, they predict the word's meaning. Step 4, they see if they're right. All right, step 4, they see if they're right. So step 1, they map the word's parts. And we're going to show you how this breaks down to an organizer here in just a minute. Step 2, they attack the meaning of each part. Step 3, they predict the meaning, they predict the word's meaning, and then step 4, they see if they're right. So let's take a look at this. In the word map, again, we're helping them understand unknown words and learn unknown words in their reading. You'll see this is broken down into a word map where you have the word, and then you have the map, or the step 1, and then you have step 2, and then step 3, and then you check if they're right. So in step 1, the first thing we do is we write the word. Then we break down the word by its prefix, its root, and its suffix. All right? We break down the word into its parts. This next step, we attack the meaning of the word by translating each of the word's parts. So we have what the prefix, suffix, or prefix, root, and suffix means. So the meaning of is before, then the meaning of predict or dict is to say or to speak, and then suffix is to act or result in the state of. And then we combine those by predicting the meaning of the word by putting the words together. And then we can finally look up to see if they're right by checking the dictionary or asking someone, and or checking Google, if you will. So again, it's a way to map a word by its parts, so that they might understand a word they didn't know before they did the map itself. Now let's talk about how you might bring this into your teaching through a series of lessons. In the first lesson of teaching these word maps, you're going to want to teach what prefixes are. In the second lesson, you want to teach what suffixes are. In the third lesson, you're going to teach what roots are, the roots of the words are. In the fourth lesson, you're going to teach that actual strategy for supporting this. So each lesson adds on to the student's understanding. And by the fourth lesson, you're actually teaching the entire strategy together. Again, with the understanding that you're going to continually build students' understanding of new words that they run across in their readings. What are some of the outcomes that we've seen in doing this? We know that students that have done this tend to recognize the meaning of words, the meaning of the word and the parts of these words easily. That they map the words back independently in their minds, that this takes place in their minds because they start understanding and recognizing the parts of the different words and building these things in their minds. So as we teach them explicitly, and like anything in life, when they continue to practice these things, it builds in their mind, it builds in understanding, and that students can unlock the meaning of unknown words. So in summary, what are things that you could do to teach explicitly? One, it's critically important that you teach and use the specific vocabulary that's associated in your content area, that this is built into your day-to-day teaching, but that you go through and you explicitly teach, you explicitly build in the instruction of the vocabulary in your instruction. That terms that are going to be used, that they're supported in the elements within the environment, so that the learning environment itself, such as your classroom, has things like a word wall where students can have support mechanisms to support things like working memory in their understanding of vocabulary. That we use the same sort of understanding in the design of our teaching materials, that we build in our worksheets and websites use, that we actually make sure that the words are consistent by nature, and that we actually make sure that the students' understanding of those words is supported in the materials themselves. So that if you send home homework, that homework will only use words that have already been taught. If the words have not been taught, you're not going to send home homework that uses new words or new concepts without providing the students a way to understand those new concepts. And that finally, you might use things such as podcasts or other digital forms of instruction wherein students might be able to take this home and access this support anywhere at any time. All right. So again, it's critical to explicitly teach the vocabulary you're going to use in your subject area. We've introduced to you a few ways to do that here. Please do the readings because the readings provided a lot more detail in this area.